Today, we are diving deep into a massive plan to completely transform India's workforce. We're talking about a 6,140 crore rupee investment with a really clear mission to get millions of people the skills they need for the future. We're going to break down exactly where that money's going, what the plan is, and, this is the important part, how they're actually going to measure success. All right, let's jump right in. Here's our roadmap. We'll start with the big picture, then get to know the main program, PMCEU. We'll follow the money, lay out the action plan, and like I said, see how they plan to track what really matters. To really get why this new scheme is such a big deal, we kind of have to zoom out first. This isn't just some standalone program. It's a huge piece of a much, much larger national push for skill development. So for 2026-27, the government has set aside almost 10,000 crore rupees just for the Ministry of Skill Development. A number that big isn't just a number, it's a message. It's saying, loud and clear, that skilling up the country's workforce is a top priority. Okay, now, inside that massive budget, a huge slice of the pie is going to one single flagship program, and it's designed to upgrade the very foundation of vocational training in India. Which, of course, brings us to the main event. What exactly is this program, and why is it getting so much attention and, well, so much money? Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the name tells you everything you need to know. SETU is all about transforming India's industrial training institutes, the ITIs. These are the grassroots places where millions of young people get real, hands-on skills. And the mission here is to bring them into the 21st century. Now, here's what's really interesting. SETU isn't an idea that just came out of nowhere. It's actually an evolution of an older plan. Back on October 4th, 2025, that earlier scheme got a major reboot, a new brand, a new identity, and a much sharper focus. It was supercharged. Okay, let's follow the money. Because when you see just how much cash is being pumped into this one program, you start to realize how serious the government is about this whole transformation. This is the number that makes you sit up and pay attention. Over 6,140 crore rupees. Let that sink in. That's more than 60% of the entire ministry's budget, all being channeled into this one mission to upgrade these training institutes. And if you want some perspective, just look at this comparison. The funding for PMCETU is more than double the budget for the entire Skill India program, which is already a huge initiative in its own right. This just shows you how monumental this investment really is. So the big question, right? Where is all that money going to go? I mean, how do you turn over 6,000 crore rupees into a better skilled workforce? Well, the plan is actually pretty direct and pretty smart. Let's break it down. It really comes down to three key pillars. First, they're going to upgrade 1,000 existing ITIs using what's called a hub and spoke model. Basically, a few big, modern institutes help lift up all the smaller ones around them. Second, they're connecting these ITIs directly with industry, so students are learning the exact skills that companies are hiring for. And third, they're building 5 brand new, world-class national centers of excellence to set the gold standard. And the vision here, it's not just about local jobs. The stated goal is to get India's youth ready for a global stage, to position them to be the workforce for manufacturing, not just for India, but for the entire world. But here's the thing that really makes this plan different. It isn't just about spending money and putting up new buildings. What really sets it apart is how they're going to measure success. The focus is completely on real-world results. This slide, this right here, captures the most important shift in thinking. It's moving from outputs, the stuff you can count, like upgraded buildings, to outcomes, the actual change in people's lives. It's the difference between asking, what did we build, and asking, did people get better jobs because of it? And these outcomes are super specific and measurable. The very first target, a 5% increase in the average starting salary for graduates. That's a direct financial benefit that proves the training is actually worth something. The second key outcome is all about inclusion. The goal is a 20% jump in female enrollment at these upgraded ITIs. That's a huge step toward opening up technical fields to more women. And the third one tackles quality right at the source. I mean, you can't have great students without great teachers, right? So the plan aims for a 5% reduction in instructor vacancies, making sure these places are staffed with qualified people. And the list of targets just keeps going. They're also aiming for a 5% boost in job placements, a 5% increase in overall student enrollment, and a 5% bump in apprenticeships. And this is so crucial, they're mandating that 80% of these ITIs have a fully working placement cell to actually help connect students with employers. Okay, let's zoom out one last time. We've seen the money, the plan, the metrics. So, what does this all mean for India's bigger journey in education and skilling? Look, PM SETU isn't some solution in a vacuum. It's a foundational piece of a much larger strategy. This is all about getting millions of people ready for the next wave of industry. Industry 4.0, automation, advanced manufacturing, by strengthening the very institutions that will train them. So here's the bottom line. The funding is absolutely massive. The plan is crystal clear. And the goals are tied to real-world outcomes like better salaries and more jobs. The big question now is all about execution. Will this 6,000 crore rupee investment truly reshape India's workforce for a generation to come? Well, that's what everyone will be watching.